Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between Attackspeedenjoyer and Maximillionare in the Warhammer League 2. Damn, very interesting. We have a classic showdown on Rift at World's Edge. So this map is absolutely huge. So going for something like Max Sky... Oh, right. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games and let's get into it. So I got excited as soon as I saw the build. So this is like an all-in from attack speed, man. Like an absolute 10 out of 10 all-in. Let's see who comes out on top. So for the armies of Khorne, we just see a couple of Marauders and a Marauder dual weapon. Valkia, standard pick here. And we have quad 8 dogs. Oh my god, 8 dogs. And they're in packs, right? A Chaos Warhound and a Fleshhound. Chaos Warhound, Fleshhound. Chaos Warhound, Fleshhound. Do we have any poison? No, no poison. And this is a, yeah, like quad. So why is his attack speed going who let the dogs out? So the answer to that is this absolute disgusting build that Max has brought. This is like the meta into Khorne currently, which is you have basically 0 infantry. What you do is you go quad war wagon or triple war wagon. You go Gelt for Plague of Rust final. You usually do bring final transmutation, honestly, here. I don't know about Searing Doom potentially, just can be cut. And you go double the double engineers. Double engineers with Mercurial shot to the side of a unit absolutely deletes that unit. Like there is nothing, even like Wrathmongers get absolutely shot up by these like random guys with a shotgun, right? Or a repeater rifle or whatever it is. So what you're doing here is just going, skirmishing until the cows come home, and then summoning in some infantry on the back to like great swords and stuff to go onto the objectives and actually beat them. But you have infinity time to just skirmish with the engineers and the war wagons. Let's see how this goes. This is like an all-in counter from the side of attack speed. And what I'm guessing he's going to do to counter this is he's going to back off with the dogs at the start, right? At the front of dogs, and try to surround with the rest of the dogs, and then lure Max in to try and capture this objective. And then when he tries to capture this objective, he's just going to surround him with the other side of the dogs, right? That is my idea of this plan. And like, look at this. These guys are so annoying to deal with. They have 40 ammo. They're never running out. They also have replenish or restock, whatever, for the other war wagons. And what you're doing is just summoning in Empire Cav to screen out the dogs from the other side. But you usually don't start with 8 freaking dogs. 8 freaking dogs is hard to deal with, man. Like when you have just 2 or 3 cav units, especially Empire Knights, which in the end will kind of lose to this double stack of dogs. But attack speed is content here. He's just hiding in the trees, just backing off, and he's just building up, which is the smart play. This is a big map. So if attack speed, if attack speed wants, if Max wants to go into his backline and actually try to skirmish, because how does Max actually gain any value here? Like he needs to stand right here, and if he stands right there, there's just so much that can surround him and actually get to him that it's very, very problematic. And pound for pound, if attack speed just keeps coming in with like infantry or even more mobility, like there's nothing that a Max can do about it. And this is like a very big map disadvantage for him, because he can triple cap, but then these dogs are just going to go through the trees and recap at least one of the objectives and also get us around. And this is what we said, like double hound into an Empire Knight should be totally fine, especially if the Warhound takes the charge. But the war wagons are actually coming in to support, so this might be a losing fight. He's just losing 2 dogs, and these dogs seemingly are going to run off the battlefield. Yep, so that is -1 dog. Other side, he's totally fine to capture an objective, but he knows that he's not under time pressure yet, right? So he can just go in. and he was banking 2k to summon in quad furies. Oh my god, the skies are burning with Khorne. So quad freaking furies, man, trying back charging into the war wagons. Oh my lord, very nice play from the side of attack speed. He just got lured in, but you can't do anything else on this type of map. And look at the surround coming in. So he went into the back objective, trying to fight in, but now he's just losing massively. He lost this Empire Knight, and the other guys are moving and shooting, so that is fairly okay. But if you look at this fight here, like, there is a Hound just nibbling on these guys, and then you just get a back charge. Same thing. He's comboing them so well, right? He's surrounding them with the mass of Chaos Warhounds or Flesh Hounds, and then he's just charging in with Valkia and the Furies and double teaming each and every single one of these cav units properly. And the double Flesh Hounds of Khorne are on the main underbelly of the Empire here, and he just absolutely shatters this unit. And then the war wagons are still up, and the problem is also Mercurial Shot, however good it is into infantry, there isn't any infantry here, right? So this is problematic, and this is what I mean by Searing Doom potentially not being it. Look at that. He shot at him, but he just did like 10% and 10% to the Warhounds. That is just not worth it, right? And he just got, oh my god. Like, there's the infantry corps, right? The infantry corps is there to hold the objectives, but the problem is all of his mobility is actually dead. So there is nothing that, and he actually unsummons the Furies because they were just the P. What a Giga Chad move, man. Like, he unsummons the Fury, which is a crazy move, especially since there are demis here. But he unsummons them to just get them back into the pool faster, and then be able to summon in potentially infantry to actually recapture the objectives. And he already has basically a triple cap, and he wants to just counter the Demigryph Knights now. And what is the counter to demis? Something with high armor piercing. Something like potentially Blood Beasts, something potentially like Minotaurs. But he just crushed, absolutely crushed Max's mobility core in the proper way. Like, very nice surrounds. This is just a classic tactic, but the map really did not help Max, right? Because even if he just waited, the problem is war wagons take like 5 minutes or 6 minutes for them to get their value with just shooting. So if he just waited and summoned out all of his 25 units, right, from the side of attack speed, and all the 21 units from the side of Max, he would have needed to properly trade and kite into like 25 units, which is way more difficult than to do than into like 6 units or 10 units or 12 units. And that would have been a huge problem for the side of Empire. Very nice Searing Doom. Oof. But don't overcast it, man. Never overcast. Overcast is the bait. Or at least Sipa says so. So go complain to him. So when it comes to the infantry corps, yeah, they're just getting caught up by just random marauders, and spearmen with shields are nice, but they're not going to be there for marauders. Valkia with a Horn of Khorne and some blood beasts just beating up some demis. Very nice support from the marauders out actually, so that the demis are not just fighting stuff like blood beasts. But now look at this. Oh no, the engineers are getting caught up by furies and flesh hounds. Just fighting in. Ooh, that was a very nice Searing Doom actually into the marauders. But you see how insignificant it is. Let's say a overcasted final transmutation on a blob of like 6 units potentially could swing it, even though they have like 35% physical magical resist. I think it's still okay. Yeah, but yeah, now we see just blood beasts, more Forsaken coming in. The spearmen are folding. There's just a marauder chilling over there, and now it's the other way around. Basically, attack speed has turned it around and said, I'm going to push you into your spawn now because you have nothing to contest me properly. And the thing is, spearmen are absolutely terrible into furies. Furies annihilate spearmen because they're small and they have magic damage frenzy, which means that they're just gonna annihilate the low attack and low weapon strength and low like weapon swing from the side of the spearman. Very nice summon of the Sternland's Revenge, but Valkia just says hello, and so do the Blood Beasts. They just jump into the unit and compromise them, so they're not going to be firing much. And we still have one of the War Wagons alive, but not for long. The Engineers, man, they are crazy. I wonder how much value they got. 800 and 700. So they didn't do bad potentially here, but they didn't do great, right? And he pops attack speed, I guess, pops Demon Shield for no apparent reason, but he's like, I have an ability, I need to use it, and so he does. But yeah, this is now just a total scrap. Attack speed is 3k ahead. That is not even counting some of the units that were off the ground, off the battlefield, just by a rush. And yeah, we can potentially even speed this up until he taps out, because there really isn't much that he can do. Now even these Marauders are coming in to compromise the Free Company Militia, and yeah, nice Searing Doom. Very good on summons, very good housekeeping from the side of attack speed, but he is just waiting to tap out, basically, inside of this game. Oh my god, this map is pretty long, especially on this side. And it does look pretty cool. He's potentially just trying to get out, but yeah, he has all the mobility pieces. Like, look, if attack speed went for a bunch of melee infantry, he would have just summoned out a Marauder, a Outrider grenade launcher, and tried to get him that way. But yeah, there is just nothing that he could do, even though he scrapped it a bit back from the value because he was just totally in his spawn for the entire time, right? It's probably the demis that were actually getting the most of the value. Yep, but he just doesn't have enough time now to win. He's just gonna lose on objectives. And congratulations to attack speed for winning the series. This is a very, very tough matchup for Khorne, so him winning this is really, really big. And yeah, look at this value on the Fleshhounds, man. They just caught their perfect targets. And the Chaos Warhounds, even though they didn't get value, they did their thing. They ate charges from the Empire Knights, and they just yeah, absorbed damage, which was their role. Valkia almost paying for herself. Forsaken kind of doesn't matter. And yeah, the Furies were the Giga Chads here, as well as the Blood Beasts in fighting the Demis. Look at this. So Engineers almost paying for themselves. Gelt paying for himself. He's very cheap. But look at the value on the War Wagons. They just did nothing. And this War Wagon that actually survived most of the game, it gained value. And that's the point on how Empire usually wins this. But it was just a difficult map to play, honestly, for the side of Max. You needed to commit too deep to be able to get any value. Potentially, he could have just stayed back, but it was difficult either way. Like, the map is just too big for him. And yeah, the Empire Knights tried their best, but there wasn't. And the grenade launchers just didn't have any targets. There was just mobility. By the time there were any targets, it was basically over. Well played to attack speed, and he advances to the next round. See you in the next series.